Let me ask something. If I told you that a head of state, a man who stood at podiums, shook hands with presidents, received Nobel Peace Prizes, had personally planned and executed a terrorist bombing that killed 91 people, would you call that man a terrorist? Would you call that country a terrorist state? Because that happened. And the country is Israel. Fact. July 22nd, 1946, Jerusalem. A stolen delivery truck pulls up to the King David Hotel, the nerve center of British military administration in Palestine. 5 men climb out, dressed as Arab workers. They carry milk churns into the basement. Inside those churns, 350 kilograms of high explosives. At 12:37 in the afternoon, the building comes down. 91 people dead. Arabs, Britons, Jews, all of them. The man who ordered that attack? Menachem Begin. He became the Prime Minister of Israel in 1977. He received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1978. And the building he bombed? Today there's a plaque on the wall of the King David Hotel. Standing now. Still luxury. Still serving dinner. Commemorating the attack. Now let's talk about the Ergon. The Ergon. Ergon Zvi Leumi, the National Military Organization, was the paramilitary group Begin commanded. And they weren't called terrorists by me. They were called terrorists by the United Nations, the United States government, the British government, the New York Times. Hannah Arendt and Albert Einstein, two of the most brilliant Jewish minds of the 20th century, wrote a letter to the New York Times in 1948 comparing the Ergon to Nazi and fascist parties. Those are not my words. Those are the historical receipts. And the Ergon's political successor, the Herut Party. And Herut's successor, the Likud Party. And who leads Likud today? Benjamin Mileikowsky. Oh, I'm sorry. You guys like to say Netanyahu. The ideological bloodline runs unbroken from the men who bomb civilian hotels to the man currently ordering airstrikes and ethno-cleansing and currently attempting to steal more land in Lebanon. But wait, we're not done. Let's talk about the Stern Gang, formerly known as Lehi, fighters for the freedom of Israel. They were so extreme that even the Ergon wasn't extreme enough for them. They split off because they thought Begin's people were too soft. The Stern Gang, and I need you to hear this clearly, twice attempted to ally with Nazi Germany. They literally sent proposals to the Third Reich offering a Jewish state built on, quote, nationalist and totalitarian principles linked to the German Reich by an alliance. They carried out 42 assassinations. They assassinated Lord Moyne, the highest-ranking British official in the Middle East. They assassinated Count Folke Bernadotte, the United Nations mediator trying to broker peace in Palestine. A man there on behalf of the entire world. Gone. After Bernadotte's murder, Israel's own government declared Lehi a terrorist organization, arrested 200 members, convicted the leaders. Then, and here's where it gets rich, granted them all general amnesty 6 months later. Kind of familiar, huh? January 6th, ring a bell? And in 1980, the Israeli government created the Lehi Ribbon, a military decoration honoring their service. The terrorists became the heroes. The heroes became the government. And the leader of the Stern Gang's successor organization, Yitzhak Shamir, Prime Minister of Israel, 1983. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Keith, that was different. That was resistance. That was a people fighting for survival. I hear that argument. I've studied it. And I want you to sit with this. That was the exact same argument made by every liberation movement the West has ever labeled terrorist. The ANC in South Africa? Terrorists. Until Mandela walked out of prison and became a saint. The Mau Mau in Kenya? Terrorists. Until Britain quietly paid reparations. The IRA? Terrorists. Until the peace process needed their seat at the table. The word terrorist has never been a legal designation. It has always been a political one. And the people who get to decide who's a terrorist are the people with the most power. Which is exactly why you've heard the name Hamas 10,000 times. And the name Ergun once, maybe twice, probably never in your entire life. Here's what the history actually says. The state of Israel was not founded by diplomats. It was not founded by peaceful negotiation alone. It was founded in significant part by men who bombed hotels, massacred villages, assassinated UN officials, and proposed alliances with Adolf Hitler. Those men were not fringe actors. They became prime ministers. They built political parties that govern to this day. Their tactics were not repudiated. They were decorated. So the next time someone asks why certain people in this world question Israel's moral authority, the next time someone calls that question anti-Semitic, the next time someone demands you condemn resistance while celebrating the founding violence of a state, you tell them this: you cannot separate a state from its founding methods any more than you can separate a tree from its roots. The argument is not that Israel is uniquely evil. Every empire has blood on its hands. The argument is that the label of terrorism has never been applied consistently. And the West's selective blindness to this history is not ignorance. It is a function of geopolitical interest, not historical fact. I'm Keith, and as always, watch the pattern, connect the dots, ask better questions.